Much ado about nothing? How about much ado about dunking? And much ado specifically about Mr. THIERO. Because look out below, the Lakers finally have the athletic demon and freak they've been waiting for. It was just 4 points, 1 rebound in 4 minutes, but all you needed was 4 minutes to see that this rookie was different. He moved different. He flew around the court different. He jumped different. From locking in immediately on the perimeter and hounding dudes with a jarring fluidity and quick twitch reaction timing that you wouldn't expect from a rookie, to being extremely active, crashing the glass, and fighting for rebounds, to running the floor with an extra turbo burst that he made look so easy. Adou THIERO just popped off the screen in comparison to a majority of his other Lakers teammates. Shot out of a cannon, a shot in the arm, whatever superlatives you want to use, Adou is exactly what the doctor ordered to cure the Lakers' athleticism woes. So like this video, comment down below, and make sure to hit subscribe. It's time to talk about the THIERO we don't deserve, but the one we so desperately need right now. Adou THIERO. Are we seriously freaking out about a rookie's 4-point performance? Hell yeah we are, and here's why. Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy podcast, and before we get into anything, let's do a quick film breakdown of 2 defensive possessions from Adou's debut last night so we can quell the cynics a bit, shall we, and let them know why we're so excited. So let me pull up the tape. All right, so here we have Adou THIERO at the top right wing of the 3-point line. And yeah, just pay close attention to the great combo of size, strength, and mobility, which is such a rare trio to have in a perimeter point of attack defender. And once again, keep in mind that this is a rookie that we're talking about. So let's go ahead and just run the tape. There's Adou THIERO, engages the ball handler, switches onto Sears, absolutely walls him off. He has nowhere to go. He has to back it out and pass it to his teammate. Meanwhile, Adou's ready to re-engage, switches on to the teammate. And yeah, this whole time he's just completely locked in, chopping his feet up, most of all, walling the dude off with his strength. I mean, this dude looks scary to have to go up against, especially when he extends his long wingspan. And most of all, it's just the way that he moves. He's even communicating on this play, telling Nick Smith, we're switching. All right, this next possession, Adou is guarding the primary ball handler, Cole Anthony in this case, but just watch the full sequence and key in on Adou THIERO and how attentive he is the entire time. And again, just watch the way he moves. This guy's coming off of knee injury, and the fact that he has the reaction timing that he has and the fluidity that he has, you can't help but get excited with a prospect like this. So let me play the tape. There's Adou, shoots sort of the gap before Giannis can screen. Bobby Portis tries to screen him off, but Adou funnels him to Jackson Hayes perfectly. There's Adou, head on a swivel, comes in to help. Look at him trying to deny the ball. Bobby Portis hands it off to Gary Trent. There, Adou is again trying to help. I mean, the amount of times Adou was ready to make a defensive play was very commendable. He never stops on this play to just stand and watch, you know? He's like converging into the paint. He converges here to wall off the drive. He tries to impede Bobby Portis. Here he is trying to help Dalton out. And yeah, this was the kid's very first defensive possession, or one of his very first possessions, and he has already acquitted himself very well. Yeah, you just have to love the activity, the mobility, the fluidity, the innate, I'm just going to do whatever it takes on this possession to try and get the ball back for my team. So yeah, again, this is a rookie who's never played in the NBA, doing things and moving in a way defensively that half of our team needs to be handheld into doing or simply can't do because of physical limitations. So yeah, we are getting excited over 4 points, 1 rebound, and the two-handed dunk heard all around the world. For anyone who's watched the Lakers over the last couple of years, outside of LeBron James, who is their oldest player, The Lakers have sorely needed a software update and upgrade when it comes to their freak athletes database. Because recently they have over indexed on their skill players and vastly overlooked the elite tier dynamite athlete that's needed in today's NBA to really compete at the higher levels. And with Adou Thiero, we finally get our small dose into how the rest of these young legged, explosive NBA teams are living. The OKCs, the Minnesotas, even the Detroits of the world. Smash 'em, bash 'em, tear 'em down, sheer explosiveness at the rim. And Adou, at least for me, represents the start of an athletic revolution for the Lakers that I hope they continue to pile on and stack up. But more than that, Adou is the exact template and mold of player that you'd want next to a Luka Doncic and an Austin Reeves. Now, you obviously want someone who can also catch and shoot the ball a little bit and hit open threes, and that's still definitely a TBD with Adou. But beyond that, Luka needs to be flanked with explosive finishers who can overwhelm teams with speed, physicality, and force at the rim, and Adou does all of those things. Luka needs lob threats, rim runners, and high motor dudes. And judging from what we saw in just 4 minutes, Adou Thiero also looks like that dude. Derek Lively, Derek Jones Jr., Daniel Gafford, these are the type of athletic finishers who have thrived next to Luka Doncic, and I think Adou Thiero is next in line in that respect. And Adou Thiero, for me, represents a glimpse of hope in this right direction. It feels like the Lakers have literally jumped and leaped into the next generation when it comes to finally having some punch you in the face, pop off the page athletes. And so, Adou Thiero, let's quickly run down his player profile one more time. Rookie debut, greatest 4.4-minute rookie debut in Lakers NBA franchise history. Adou Thiero, former number 36 pick of the 2025 NBA draft. Rob Pelinka traded up 19 spots just to get this dude, and I think it was well worth it, and I think it was well worth the wait. Adou Thiero is only making $1.2 million this year, and he'll be making $2.5 million 3 years from now during the 2027-28 season when the Lakers will have a club option on him and will control his future. Adou at this point is a small forward, power forward. Maybe he can play the shooting guard as well, but the way that he's sized, it feels like he's going to be more of a small forward, power forward who can defend at the point of attack and defend primary ball handlers, which is really useful to be able to do in that body at those positions. Adou is still only 21 years old. He's listed at about 6'7", 6'8", with a nice 7-foot wingspan. And he also weighs a sturdy and hefty 220 pounds. I wouldn't be surprised if he weighs a little bit more than that, but regardless, he is a slab cut of rock. He is super built and super cut. During his lone year last season with Arkansas, Adou Thiero averaged 15 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 2 assists per game, and a really great stocks profile, 1.6 steals per game and 0.7 blocks per game. 54% from the field, 25% from three. We know he needs to work on that. Only 0.4 threes made per game, but he did go to the line 6.5 times a game, which is something to sort of monitor because if this dude can also get to the stripe like Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, that's going to be a problem for the rest of the league moving forward. So I like the fact that he has a high free throw rate and that he was able to do all of this in just 27 minutes. But look, I'm not going to belabor the point here. I'm not going to belabor this video. Adou Thiero is just the shot in the arm athletically that the Lakers need. The feats of athleticism that he can provide and that he can do on the court on both ends of the court, whether it's as a lob threat, as a rim runner, as a guy who can grab offensive rebounds out of the air, but also the defensive end of the floor as a dude who just can snatch the ball out of the air and call it a block. A dude who can chase down opponents and wall off defenders and run around the entire perimeter, patrolling the paint, lunging out to perimeter shooters, still getting the block on a three-point shot. That is the type of quick twitch, quick reaction timing defender that Adou Thiero can be. Now it's just about sort of refining his fundamentals and his IQ, especially in team defense schemes, because there were moments against the Bucks where he did get blown by forget who that the name of that point guard was. Sears is his last name. But there were times where he did get blown by. There were times where he was sort of out of position. Those things can be polished and tweaked, but in terms of the Clay that we're working with right now with Adou THIERO, it's Clay to be very excited about. And I'll leave you guys with this. I have an updated player comp for Adou THIERO. I know the comp that people love throwing out there is OG Anunoby, and it makes sense because they have a similar build. They're both about 6'6", 6'7". The way they move, how athletic they are, it makes sense. The OG Anunoby thing makes sense, but I feel like at this point it's a little bit tired. So I'll give you a new one. In the past, I have said that if his three-point shot can round into form, I could also see him being this Robert Covington type player or a Jeremy Grant with the Nuggets type guy. The Jeremy Grant before he got his payday and went to the Detroit Pistons and Portland Trailblazers, the Jeremy Grant who was doing all of the hustle, dirty work type stuff. But I should note that Adou THIERO in college or in high school was a point guard. So he also does have very underrated point guard playmaking skills off the dribble, which we should continue to monitor because I think this dude could be more than a one-dimensional defender. And so keep that in mind. But right now, my sort of aspirational floor comp for Adou THIERO would be a non-three-point shooting, taller version of Aaron Nesmith of the Indiana Pacers, because both of them are such dynamic, pop-off-the-page athletes. I believe Aaron Nesmith recorded a 42-inch vertical at the Combine, while Adou THIERO recorded a 41-inch vertical, and they're both extremely sturdy with broad shoulders and super buff and cut, and the way that they attack the rim with such force and TNT dynamite is really exciting. And then on the defensive end of the floor, you guys already know how Aaron Nesmith defends, how fundamentally well he defends. And Adou THIERO, I believe, can get to that stage and that level of defender. So a non-three-point shooting, taller version of Aaron Nesmith, if he can get his three-point shot to work even marginally well or improve it to be an average three-point shooter, then maybe that Aaron Nesmith comp becomes more and more a reality. But also my highest ceiling comp for Adou THIERO would be a guy like former Laker, especially when we take into account his playmaking and ball handling, would be none other than former Laker Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace, both about 6'7" or so. Meta World Peace in his prime and heyday was being used as a secondary ball handler, handling the rock, dishing out assists to guys in the paint and out into the perimeter. But most of all, we knew Meta as a hard-nosed, gritty bulldog of a defender. And I think that's exactly who Adou THIERO can be at his baseline. But if everything else fires on all cylinders with regards to his offensive improvements, Ron Artest is right there, my friend. Forget about OG Anunoby. Let's keep it purple and gold. Meta World Peace, ADT. All right, with that said, that'll do it for this video. Please remember to like this video, comment down below, mash that hype button, and please, please, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, without further ado, I will bid you adieu, THIERO. All right, I'm done. Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.